Hi everybody, welcome to my latest video. I'm in a race against time because the rains are coming this evening and I, as you can see, I'm not ready. It's about noon and I'm still working, and by the end of this video, hopefully I have this side in and some solution for closing the front off. But as of right now, I don't know what's gonna happen. So keep watching to the end of the video. I've got a lot of work to do filling in these sides, and hopefully I get things done and the rain doesn't come pouring in the kitchen. There's a chill in the air, but it's gonna get hot later on. This I can assure you. And I think it's supposed to rain on Friday, which for me isn't great news because I've got a gaping hole in my wall and I've got loads of wood around and loads of lime and bags of things out. So I'll need to do a lot of prep, but it is great news for the countryside because everything is on fire right now. It seems like the northwest of Portugal, never eat shredded wheat, northwest of Portugal is burning, and there's some really big fires still going now. There was a fire just over there. I could see it from my little lookout point a couple days ago as well. And we really have had a decent summer as far as fires go. There haven't been so many big ones, but it seems like they're all kind of coming now. So that's terrible news. It really sucks. And normally September we'll have seen some rains already, and we haven't. So rain on Friday is great news, and I'm just gonna have to do a little bit of extra work to prepare for that. But right now it's all about making this second side stone, the upright, and taking down the burlap sack behind me so you can see the pointing work I did yesterday. And I think after I take the burlap down, I'm gonna take this off and see if this thing actually stays standing up. It should. It would be very disastrous if everything falls down. So, let's take a little walk down this way. And I guess it's a little hard to see with the shadows, but I'm making some progress. I probably have some washing of the stones to do. I guess things have gotten a little sloppy, but I'm very pleased. And I think it looks really cool the way it's edging the side of the window as well. So let's take this down and see what happens with the stone. Off you go. All right, everything seems pretty solid. This is looking really good. Let's go inside and see what this looks like, because so far I've just had plywood and stuff in there and haven't actually seen the window in its full glory. And it truly is glorious. That's gonna be loads of light coming in here. The view is gonna be wonderful. What a great place to do dishes from. And yeah, time to work on this part, which is scary but exciting because I do feel like I got this in okay. And the window is looking mighty fine from the outside as well, but it's time to get the side piece in. I've been doing a lot of talking, a lot of avoiding, a lot of procrastinating, but now I've got to choose one of these pieces, cut it to size, and get it in place. Okay, I've cut the bottom off, measured up 79 centimeters, and grinded all the way around, and now I'm gonna see if I can tap this part off. So I don't think it's gonna work because the grinder probably didn't go deep enough, but you never know, sometimes life surprises you. And sometimes it doesn't. Okay, back to the grind. way, just making a little space so I can get the grinder blade in a little lower, and hopefully that'll do the trick. One, two. Ah, there we go. Hitting it at the end, that could be the key. So, I have my piece cut to length, more or less. Now it's time to do the edge. So I'll be out here in the hot sun, grinding my little heart out. But the camera, much like myself, doesn't like the sun, doesn't like the heat, so it's going back inside. And I will see you when we're ready to go vertical with this stone. So the grinding is, I hope, finished. I've moved the operation to the shade, which is kind of silly, I didn't think of that earlier. And I've grinded the bottom part to be a little bit concave to hopefully make it easier for it to sit into place. And same with the top part as well. And I've got these little crisscross bits on the parts that are going to go inside the wall, so that in theory the mortar mix will have more to grip onto. And then, let's see, which is the front part? Let me roll this around a little bit more. Ugh. Okay, so this is the front piece here, and the window box will sort of sit against the front piece, and I guess the window guy will use some sort of, I don't know, caulking or silicone or whatever it is to get everything in place. At least that's according to my research that I did on other windows. There's always a bead of something along there, so I think as long as it's close enough, it'll be fine. So let's get this thing moved into a closer location, and then I've got some work to do before I go vertical. It's not too heavy. At least not for carrying it, but maneuvering it is a whole different story. I definitely feel like this towel has seen better days. Probably won't be using that again. So before I try to get this into place, I really would like to build up under here. I don't want this hanging off. I don't want anything possibly breaking or shifting around. And the more secure I have this, the better I'll feel. So let's get this out of the way a bit more. Ugh. On you go. And find some stones to fill this in. All right, I've mixed up another batch of mortar. I've found 2 stones that I think will do the trick. And I'm ready to put them into place. So let's get everything nice and wet. And get them in there. I'm not gonna work on this side because I have a feeling I might end up grinding off part of this. And I'd also like to have a stone that spans the entire height, so it connects to the stone above. Yeah, so right now I'm gonna leave this empty and just get these 2 in there so this isn't just dangling in the air like it is right now. Maybe this would have been better as one stone, but I couldn't find one stone, and sometimes you just have to get on with things, so I think it'll be fine with 2. I hear somebody down there. What's that, Larry? What is it? Do you think this is a good stone? Which way did this go? Like this? It's a little bit of shifting around. All right, Larry, I'm coming. Which way did I have this facing? I think it was this way. Yeah, that's good. Little tappity tap. Where'd you go? Were you just announcing your presence, were you? You're very noisy. You're a very noisy little guy, and I feel like Mikey has been getting a lot of camera time lately, but Larry has been mostly absent. But when he arrives, he definitely makes his presence known loud and clear. And he's still a very happy kitty. All right, little dude. Try to be quiet. I'm doing some filming. I'm gonna get back to work. So I guess this would be a combo of sort of filling in from behind, trying to also pack from the front. But I'll basically just find some stones, put them in behind, and try to fill everything up more or less to the same level as the rest of the cell, just to strengthen everything. And then tomorrow, I'm gonna get this one going this way, and that's gonna involve probably grinding this part off, and very likely, definitely having to grind this a little bit more flat as well. So I've got my dust defense in place, finally. I don't know why this took me so long to do, but hopefully it means that the house doesn't become a total disaster when I grind tomorrow. Lots of grinding, lots of dust. And I want to say lots of fun, but it's definitely not my favorite task. Grinding stone, yeah, it's pretty dirty, pretty tricky, and fairly unenjoyable. So, I'm going to say goodbye from tonight, and I'll show you what I get done tomorrow when I'm ready to get this thing in place. But this looks like a mighty fine stone for right here, so let's get that in now. And yeah, just keep building up. So I'll see you tomorrow, bright and early. So we're back. It's the day that it's supposed to rain, and there's clouds gathering. The wind is picking up a little bit, and you can kind of feel like the rain is coming. I don't think it's going to be a lot, which is actually unfortunate because there are some serious fires happening in the northwest of Portugal, and I think it's been on international news. So though the rain isn't great news for the giant hole in my wall, it's great news for the country, and I really hope it rains a lot. And I just have a lot of work to do to get prepared for it so I don't have water coming into my house. So putting the stone in is one part of the whole operation, but actually building up the side of the wall interior behind the stone is a whole other thing, because I need the stone to be able to attach to something. So I've been working on that. Let's just go into a little video montage of that work, and then I'll catch up with you again when I'm ready to push on with trying to get this stone in place. So this is where I'm at now. I've built up a little bit more. I've put a bunch of mortar in behind this stone here to support it. I've put this in place, and now I need to grind this out so I can try to get this stone vertical. I'm still gonna have to do a lot of work down here with the grinder as well, but I need to get this out first so I can see what I'm dealing with. And I must say, though I'm not usually the type to stress out about work, I accept that things will get done whenever they get done. In this case, when the rains are coming and I have a giant hole in the wall, it's a little bit stressful. So I've got lots of grinding in my future, and then I need to figure out how to close all this up. And unfortunately, it's probably gonna involve the return of the dreaded tarp, but hopefully it'll be off again soon enough. So let's just keep pushing on, and hopefully I can beat the weather. Okay, so this could be the interesting part. I need to get this mega heavy stone vertically here, and then clamp it into place, and then take a look. Definitely a two-person job, but I'm gonna give it a try anyways, because sometimes I just like to do dumb things. So this is standing on its own, and that's incredibly surprising and very encouraging as well. So let's clamp it up, step back, and see what this looks like. So from far away, I see nothing, but let's go through the foliage, take a peek past the avocado tree, and it looks pretty cool. There's a few things that I see need to be adjusted. The first thing is down here. This isn't actually too bad, but obviously I'd rather have this as tight as possible in the front. But the main thing is that I can go over this way quite a bit more, which is good news, but I need to see what this looks like from the inside first. Beyond my dust protector lies the upright stone, and it's definitely not sitting square. I've leveled this. This is pretty much upright, so I'll need to, I think, shift the board over to the left, and try to straighten everything up a little bit as well. So I've got some adjustments to make. It's gonna take a little while. It's gonna be pretty finicky, very unentertaining viewing, so I'll do it off camera. But I am encouraged. I feel like lifting the stone into place wasn't as hard as I thought it would be, and maneuvering it around should be more of the same. It shouldn't be so difficult. I feel like I'm pretty close to having it in there, so I'm gonna race against the weather, as I said before, and hopefully get this thing in before the end of the day. So this is where we're at now. Hopefully when you see me again, this whole thing is shifted over, a little bit tighter on the bottom, and ready to get mortared in. So the forecast is still saying it'll rain a couple millimeters, 60% or something like that, in about an hour, But I don't know, it's looking pretty blue sky out here. And if I've learned one thing while living in Portugal, it's not to trust the weather apps. They lie. They are very rarely accurate, except for when you don't want them to be. And in this case, I really wanted rain for the fires in the north, but it doesn't look like it's coming. So I'll keep you posted on that. I guess it's good news for the window hole. I'm gonna show you progress on that in a minute. First, let's go to the garden, because I've got some things I want to harvest. It really is an incredibly beautiful evening. Unfortunately, where's that rain? The sunflowers are looking happy, at least these ones are. Got some limes to pick. This tree doesn't have so many, but the other two trees I have are absolutely packed, and I want to make some fermented lime pickle. But right now, I'm gonna harvest some of my basil and some of my jalapeno peppers. And then I'm gonna whip up some pesto and some pickled peppers as well. So the garden is definitely on its way out. I don't usually do a winter garden, so I was gonna close everything off, but I think I mentioned in a previous video that Sinead is currently doing a permaculture course, and I think she's pretty excited to do some winter stuff, so we'll probably get a few things on the go in some of these garden beds, put some new soil in, some compost, and get some stuff in the ground like cauliflower, kale, cabbage, Brussels sprouts, things like that. And then she can, yeah, look after that. But as it is right now, everything's kind of on its way out. The basil's ready to harvest. I've got loads of peppers to do. I might see about digging these basil plants up and putting them in the polytunnel over the winter to see what happens. But for right now, the plan is to harvest all the basil that I have ready to go and to make a pesto. And I'll do that off camera, but I'll put the recipe below. It's just the usual pesto. I think it's olive oil, loads of Parmesan cheese. What else is there? I put some lemon zest and some lemon juice in it. Maybe that's the secret ingredient. The basil, obviously. And instead of pine nuts, I use toasted almonds because pine nuts are hideously expensive and I cannot really afford them. And then obviously olive oil from the land. I don't know if I mentioned that. Salt, and I feel like I'm forgetting some important ingredient, but it's delicious stuff, and I'm really happy to have all this basil, and I definitely think I should grow more in the future. And then over yonder, I have loads of jalapenos ready to go. This is the prime time for harvesting these bad boys, and I'm hoping I can get lots of jars of pickled jalapenos to trade and sell to people. So it's an exciting time, and the plants are packed. What's that, little guy? I heard you meowing. What did you find? Is it just absolutely nothing? It looks like a stone. It looks like grass. It looks rather unexciting. Come over here, Larry. I'll show you exciting. This is exciting. What do you think of that? What's your opinion on chili peppers? Does not seem to be bothered by them. So I've got some weird chilies. I don't remember what I planted actually. Those might be ghost chilies, which I'm not gonna put in my pickling mix. Pickling is all about the jalapenos. And as you can see, I have loads and loads of them. It's a jungle in here actually. Perhaps I should have thought this through when I was putting these pots so close together, but my plan for these guys is to chop them down to size once the season is over and take them all to the polytunnel and try to overwinter them, and then bring them back out and harvest them again and plant some more, and hopefully have a pretty major jalapeno production operation on my hands by the end of next year. So, come on, jalapeno. Come on. There you go. So I've got a lot of picking in my future, but I've been drying this out for long enough. I'll harvest those later. Right now, let's go check out this window box. And here she is in all her glory, beyond the beautiful flowers that my mom planted with her friend Lisa, beyond the mess that I've created, which will be cleared up soon enough, I hope. We have 3/4 of a window box. I've gone vertical, and I am really pleased with it. It's in securely at the bottom. I've chucked some mortar in from the side and from the back, so it's built up to about there. I'm not going to take this off until I get a little higher, but I'm tired, and this is what it's going to be like for the moment. You'll notice that there's an overhang here. I'll probably grind this off back a bit and put some stone facing there. I'm going to build up the sides with some nice stones, do some pointing like I did over here. And you can see that I still have some gaps under there, even though it is sitting nice and securely. It would have been really hard to make that perfectly flat. Same goes for this side. So I think what I'll do is grind a little bit of space and do some sort of a pointing thing that's actually going to be done more in a dark gray color, so you don't really see it quite as much, so it doesn't stand out the same way as this pointing does. So that's my plan for that. And I guess the next step after I do all that stuff is the lintel. And the thought of putting the lintel in is truly terror-inducing, and I'm not going to mess around with that until I have the sides very secure, which is going to mean that the lime should really cure for a little while. So I'm going to build up the sides and all that stuff, do some more pointing off camera, and the next time you see me working on the window, it'll be hopefully putting this lintel in place and doing the lintel on the inside as well. I'm hoping to have the window guy come around next week to measure in addition to that. So lots of things will be happening. So the window hole is a long, ongoing project, but it's going more or less to plan. And since it doesn't look like rain, I think I'm just gonna live life on the edge and leave this uncovered, because I hate putting that blue tarp up and taking it down as much as you guys hate looking at the thing. So it's staying off the wall for now, and fingers crossed it stays dry. So tonight I've got some pesto making and some pepper pickling in my future. I'm gonna enjoy this lovely evening and marvel at the work that I've done, because I really am quite proud of the fact that I've got this thing 3/4 of the way finished, even though the hardest part I think is still to come. So I'm gonna say goodbye from this video. Thanks for watching as always. I hope you enjoyed it. It does seem like you guys are really enjoying this window series, and I'm really enjoying working on it and sharing it too. So any questions, please do leave me a comment, even if you just wanna say hello, and I'll see you in the next video.